All right, what up, what up, what up? It is that guy Dub, and I'm back with another video. How you guys doing at the end of the day? Shouted, I'm good money. Now, if you guys are new here, make sure you hit like and subscribe and join us in this next excursion of the dating pool. Definitely has P in it. My special guest, Mr. Shane, how we doing, brother?
I'm awesome, man. I'm really excited to be here, man. Appreciate you reaching out.
Not a problem. Now, what's been your experience? Well, first off, give everybody a little bit of your background.
Fair enough. So, in my undergrad, I studied performance art and business. So, I had a history of theater, acting, film, professional theater. In my undergrad, I didn't want to have like a real job. Like most people, they don't want to, they don't want to do the typical grind. They don't want to serve tables, do that kind of shit, but they do it out of necessity. But luckily, I was a street performer at the time, and I worked in some Renaissance fairs where I was doing like juggling and fire breathing. And it looks really intense and really fun and really exciting and really difficult, but it's not. So luckily, when you're around a bunch of college kids that like to drink and see shit get set on fire, that can be a definite way to make some money. So I was in college. I had some shitty telemarketing job. It wasn't going anywhere like most of those jobs do. It really sucked. Managers suck. People suck. Job sucks. I'm like, let me see if I can't make this thing happen. And I'm not trying to take anyone down a giant rabbit hole, but just to give you an experience of my career, where I've been, and especially about the topic about dating and just your basic social life, especially constructed around dating and that kind of environment. I think this plays a part in it. So I quit my job. I'm like, fuck this. Let me see if this works. Started working a couple of college jobs or frat houses. We're talking Kent up at the main branch, Akron, Cleveland, any of those kind of bars. I was going and doing little street shows where I would juggle fire, breathe fire, make fun of people, do that kind of shit, have a little fun, make a little money on the side. And I was making enough money where I didn't have to work. I could make fun of people, get drunk, set shit on fire, and make a living. So that's what I started doing. So I'm like, third, fourth year in college, decided to go and take a plunge in New York, like most people do, New York, California, Chicago, wherever. I go up there. I'm working street shows. I work for Universal Television. This is before ABC bought Universal. I'm doing Law and Order. I meet the cast of Law and Order. I'm working on them. I'm a gaffer. I do a little extra work. I'm working for a theater out there. A couple contracts subsided. I lost a lot of money, as it works in New York when you're an entertainer, So I came back home, finished my degree. Then I started working in the nonprofit sector. Again, I didn't want a real job, but I wanted a good job. Right. And in the nonprofit sector, a lot of people, when they hear nonprofit, they think no profit. That's not the case at all. A nonprofit means that you provide a service without asking for money and someone else foots the bill. That's how a nonprofit works. So with me, I wanted something where I could have a good corporate gig. I had time to do things on the side if I needed to, good benefits, and I could provide a service to a community. I wanted to help people. I wanted to bring something back to the community, especially where I was from. So I jumped in the nonprofit sector and I started helping people do trade work. I'm a bit of a handyman. A lot of the equipment I did in my shows, I made myself. So what I started doing is in the nonprofit sector, in the trades, was I would fix furnaces, hot water tanks, that kind of thing. I'd put payments on bills. And that's basically what I've been doing for the last nine years, almost 10 years, is in the nonprofit sector, just helping people, like at one point in time myself. So that's a little bit about me. It's, from crazy drunk setting shit on fire guy to corporate America.
And there's definitely nothing wrong with that. You said that you actually are the first guest that I've had that actually had their own microphone.
Oh, wow, nice.
Usually speakerphone. So kudos to you on that. Also, quick public service announcement. Right now, the way I do my show, I shoot my show off my phone. I'm an over-the-road truck driver, and so I do my show. You said that's why you see this McDonald's-looking headset. But you said I do my show. You said in my truck, so there's no excuse. If you want to start a podcast, if you want to start some kind of content creation, there's no excuses. No excuses.
Nothing. So you're doing it as you drive. That's actually fucking awesome. I don't know how we didn't really go over a lot of stuff. I didn't know if you were going to be cool with me swearing. Like, you're a truck driver, so I didn't. Okay. Shit. Fucking awesome.
You said we're all uncut over here.
I didn't know what time you were going to call me, and a friend of mine came out. A friend of mine owns a brewery. I do like I love local businesses. And a friend of mine, he owns a brewery and he came out with a new beer. So, so I'm already a couple of beers in.
Okay, hey. Unfortunately, I can't join you, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, you're driving, so that makes a lot of sense.
No. Actually,
I know they're really, which makes sense. I know that like you have to live your life differently as a truck driver, if I'm not mistaken. Like you can't even have like a hint of alcohol anywhere on you. Like they can just nope, no more driving. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm the same actually. In the nonprofit sector, I have a company vehicle, and I had to live my life differently. Like as a truck driver, most trades, nonprofit, whatever I'm doing, you have to live your life a little differently. Like you can't get a felony while you're working. You can't get too many traffic violations. You lose your job. So I'm with you. I know how that works.
You said, and okay, now you said we brought you here because we're talking about there being pee in the dating pool, and so far, you said like how I started it is because I'm actually married, and a lot of my friends was like, well, you said you got a platform. You said it sucks dating in Cleveland, or you said in other parts of the country and stuff like that. Yeah. So why don't you talk about that? And you said sitting there trying to come up with a name, and I kept hearing people say there's pee in the dating pools. So I was like, there you go.
I like it.
So with that being said, how's been your experience when it comes to the dating pool?
So I've been in the same relationship for like 15 years. I've been excruciatingly lucky to have been mostly on the outside looking in and dating. So I've been very fortunate to have the partner I have. So as far as dating, like I've seen it from the outside looking in, but I've had plenty of experiences, and I've even done dating advice. Like I think maintaining a relationship is very important. There's a lot of give and take. There's a lot of compromise. I don't see that a lot anymore. That's the first thing is when you're starting a relationship, especially in the dating pool, compromise is essential. And I'm not talking compromise like who pays, who does this, whatever, just basics, like just basic. When you're in the dating pool, compromise is essential in some way, as in like, oh, I'll buy this round, you buy next round. Little things like that I think are really important. Setting a boundary, not a strict boundary, like don't touch my toys, but like some kind of boundary is okay, especially I think for men. I think women set too many boundaries, and I think it restricts them from finding a good guy that maybe just likes toys. You know what I mean? Like great guy, makes good money, really cool, and then you get to his house and like, oh, there was an ick. He likes packaged toys and he has Barbie collection. Like, whatever, like who cares about that? That is so stupid to like, and I'm sure you've seen plenty of things on social media where women have said, oh, this is our new ick, and it's like a guy on a little motorcycle thing at the mall with his young child. That's not an ick. That's a beautiful thing for a father to share a moment with their kid. But specifically about dating, if you're going into the dating realm, if you're going into the dating field, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because I think first impressions are a must. Don't tell them everything, but at the same time, it's really important to put yourself out there, set boundaries in the beginning. Don't just immediately start buying dinner for a lot of these girls. Don't fucking do that. Do not just go to every single date and buy dinner. Feel them out, and if they're acting in a way, split it, but buy them a drink. That's how I'm telling everyone to do it. That's how I've been doing it. Don't buy women dinner on the first date. Don't even say it's a date. Don't even consider the first date a date. Go out, tell them, hey, if you don't mind, I don't want to overstep your boundaries. I think we should split the bill. And then during the meeting, right, everything's going good. You guys are laughing, joking, everything's cool. Then be like, hey, I'm going to buy us a round. What you drinking? Then boom, there's your buy. And if they have a problem with you, like splitting the bill, then okay, then that don't sit there and tell me that you want feminism and you want equality, you want to be treated equally, but then you want every guy that takes you out on a date to buy you dinner. Right. I think it's a complete double standard.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned feminism. I was watching a video earlier and it had me crying laughing, where these liberal women were literally going on social media saying to stop having sex with men because they voted for Donald Trump. Now, when you hear that, how does that hit you?
I think it's so stupid that you're going to have that strong. You know what? Honestly, you're doing Trump supporters a favor. You're only doing them a favor from finding out later you're a liberal Kamala supporter. So go right ahead and take yourself right out of the fucking pool of dating. I don't care. If you're going to set that tight of a boundary where we disagree on political figures and you don't want to sleep with that person or date that person, you know what? Honestly, go right ahead. I think you're going to lose out on finding a person who could align with your values, who just doesn't want to vote for the same person you vote for. And I think that's a really stupid thing to do, to say, well, you voted for someone I don't like, so you're less important than me. That's not the case. Right. I think it's so stupid to say that. It's so stupid to put that big of a boundary on something. Now, if it's someone who you can actually say is an actual terrible person, like people that collect serial killer cards, right? Like, oh man, I can't wait to get the next Dahmer, edition card, I could maybe see that being a bit strange and be a little off-putting at first if you didn't know the person. But if it's just a political figure, blow it out of your ass. Blow it right out of your ass. Don't give that much of a boundary and restrict yourself from the dating pool.
And you're absolutely right, because me personally, not a huge fan of Trump. Just gonna put it out there. It is what it is. Wasn't a fan of Kamala either. I'm not even
right. Me and you both. I didn't vote for Kamala. I didn't like her. I think, and I didn't mean to cut you off if I did. I'm sorry, but I think one reason why Kamala lost this election is she didn't seem interested in it. Anytime anyone asked her a question on anything, and that could have been anything. Any question she asked, she never had a direct response. That doesn't settle a voter, especially when you're already a voter for someone and you're like, hey, I want to vote for you. I like you. I love what you're putting out there. I love that you're a strong black woman. You're a VP, first VP in history to be a black woman. Let's talk what you're going to do different than what your current president's doing. And they say, okay, look, guys, I know things are expensive. I grew up poor. I was middle class poor. I like green beans. Okay, next question. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, she didn't seem like, in my opinion, she had much of an interest in things. On top of that, there's a big conservative movement really coming out of the woodwork. And I don't mean conservative like bad. I don't mean conservative like racist. I mean conservative people where they're like, I like what we have. I want to function in a society where I can treat people and be treated equally. I love you. You love me. We can disagree. That rhymed. Didn't mean to. But let's have some kind of realistic goals and look at things differently. And then you have the far left movement that has taken over Hollywood. It's taken over social media. It's taken over film. Any movie you see has some kind of political ideology that not everyone's interested in. I want to go see Bruce Willis or Jason Statham fucking murk someone. I want to see someone get kicked in the chest and blown up, and not it be some kind of political thing. They've turned Hollywood and all of these things into a political ideology that may not align with most of the people buying tickets. And then when it starts going and affecting their lives, their livelihood, when it affects their day-to-day, they get pissed off and they come out of the woodwork and they start voting. And I think that's what happened. I think that's a big thing of what happened.
Absolutely. You see, that's a funny thing as well, because if you look at it, the reason you said, because like they spent so much of her 107 days campaigning, blaming black men.
Yeah,
it was like trying to shame, like, when statistically we vote Democratic 90% of the time.
Oh yeah,
unfortunately, you saying that, but we voted you saying for Democrats, but never get anything.
Yeah, all the time.
These other, like, if you look back to the Civil Rights Act, you said the Voting Rights Act, you said what you call it, no act in the United States Constitution, well, United States has any mention of black people at all. If you go through the text of all these different, they never mention black people. But when they had the Asian hate crime bill, they mentioned Asians. You said that's one of the reasons why, like, a lot of black people are turned off of politics a lot of the time, because we feel like we're not even mentioned. We're not using.
Well, affirmative action very specifically protects black men or black people in general from being fired, when in some cases some people should be fired. Like if you got into a verbal altercation with someone at work and you said something morose in front of a client, like in my industry, let's say this is a trend where it's like you get into an argument, you're hot-headed, you throw a temper tantrum, you call someone a motherfucker. It's happened 3 times. You should be fired. It's your 3rd time. We've told you can't call people motherfuckers. You can't yell at people. You got to be professional. It's our 3rd time. We're going to have to suspend you. Oh, no, you can't do that. You're being racist. And then guess what? They have to protect them. So there are absolute times where I see where certain where certain historically disenfranchised groups of people are being ignored. And sometimes when they're being treated overly fair. And it's a give and take. And no, it's not always fair. But at the same time, it's like we have to understand a bit of the history of why it's like sometimes we ignore them and sometimes we don't. Like, so do we always do great by their side? No, but we also try and make up for it in other ways. And I think it's disingenuous to say that we should overly protect them in some way, but not all the ways. I think it should go both ways, and not all the time.
But see, if you look at the other side, when you hear Trump sitting there saying he's going to give police absolute immunity, you said, so if they fuck, you said like, we don't agree with that, and we see every day, and it's not. We see a lot of black people getting messed with by police. We also see white people get. You said like, there's countless white. He's like the guy in Arizona that he said had I guess the air rifle, and they gave him 100 different commands, and you said he's trying to comply with all of it. They ended up lighting this motherfucker up with an AR-15 in a hotel hallway. You said, or you said like Amber Geiger. You said like Amber Geiger. You said like 10 years. You came into somebody's house and you murdered them. 10 years? Are you kidding?
Oh
me?
Yeah, absolutely. That was such an overstep. Like it was a pail of water. Now, if you look at the whole, are you talking about the old lady that got shot in her home?
No. Yeah, she shot the black man. In his, she
lived
downstairs from him. She lived downstairs from him in the exact same apartment. They lived right on top of each other. And she went to his door, thought she was going into hers, lit him up. In his own home.
Yeah, absolutely. So he wasn't talking about. Trump wasn't talking about complete immunity. He was talking about in certain states qualified immunity. Do you know qualified immunity by chance?
Yes.
So for those that don't qualify, I'm sure you do. Qualified immunity means you have to qualify for it. So if there's now no shooting is good. No one's going to say any shooting is good, no matter what happens. But in a clean shooting, meaning that I didn't have a choice, he grabbed me, I had nowhere to go, I shot him. That's qualified immunity. Now in certain circumstances, like with the elderly lady who threw the pail of water, it's a pail of hot water. What the fuck? She's 90 years old. What the fuck is she going to do to you? What is she going to do to you? You put 2 on her face because of a pail of water? I'm fucking real. That's not the immunity he was talking about. He was talking about the immunity where it's a clean shooting, where you could argue that it was either this or death. So that would be what he's talking about. Because when we talk about like where George Floyd was killed, where there's no police now, there's no police there. So we're talking murder went up 1,000%. I don't know if you heard of the George Floyd effect, but the George Floyd effect is where we see in a lot of blue states where after, unfortunately, George Floyd was murdered, now we see a huge increase in murder, gang violence, that kind of thing. And a lot of it is because of political pressure where they stand down. And it's like, I get that there's a lot of unrest and it sucks. It's never good to hear someone die, especially in those circumstances. But that doesn't mean that you take the entire police force and say, go home. Like that isn't where that was supposed to go. Yes, the people involved should be responsible, but that doesn't mean that every cop is responsible for a bad thing. And that's
absolutely not.
And I think that was kind of. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, finish your thought. All right, now what I was saying is also.
I'm trying to be short and sweet.
It's all good. He's also with that. Like I said, what you said, Kamala would dance around and get nowhere. I feel like you said Trump did the same thing in a lot of instances, but he called it the weave, and we all laughed and forgot the fucking question that was asked in the first place because he didn't answer it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just.
It definitely went both ways. Absolutely.
The only thing I absolutely know is that this next 4 years is going to be entertaining as shit.
Yeah.
anytime that man gets in front of a camera, it's a sight.
Oh, you're not fucking kidding. I will say one thing though. Trump definitely did a great job with black men, in getting their vote. Like when you see like yourself, hardworking black guy, right? A lot of hardworking Americans in general were seeing the impact of what happened in the Biden campaign and the difference between that and the Trump campaign. Everyone says, oh, well, the pandemic is why everything was so cheap. Duh, the pandemic. That's why Trump had it so cheap. Well, that was at the last year of his term. But then when we look at the first year of the Biden term, we see a huge increase in inflation, groceries, gas, war. It took 14 months within Biden being in office for, I think that was Ukraine at the time. It was either Ukraine or Hamas. I can't remember which one started first, but in 14 months we had war overseas.
Ukraine started first.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. So we had war overseas. We had a huge spike in gas, groceries. I invest in real estate, so I flip houses. I'm in trades, know how to build, that kind of shit. So I'm like, fuck it, let's see if I can do this. And I bought a house during the pandemic, all the shutdowns, all the bullshit. Bought a house. Took me a year to clean it up. By the time it went, as Trump was leaving office and Biden was going in it, bought a house for 10 grand. The house that I got, it was at like a sheriff's auction. So it was they picked up, left, went to the bank commandeered it, resold it, whatever, that kind of thing. Bought the house for like 8-9 grand, whatever it was. By the time I got done fixing it, that's when the market went fucking nuts. And I sold it for $110,000. So I went from like a $40,000-$50,000 house to a $110,000 house during the time in which Trump left and Biden came in. So we're talking a year. And that's when everything went to shit. So for anyone to say that it was because of the pandemic, it's just wrong, because things were going down when Trump was in, but up when Biden was in. At the same amount of time, the pandemic was affecting both sides of the term of the presidents. The one was the latter first half with Trump, and then the latter half with Biden. Down with Trump, up with Biden. So telling me that the pandemic was the reason why things were up and down, left and right, I'm going to vote them. No, because we also see when the pandemic was over, increases in inflation, groceries, gas, it kept going up and then stayed at a certain level. After the pandemic was over, during the Biden administration, why didn't all of that go down?
That's true. You saying now the other thing, I guess, because of the way they explained it, and we're supposed to be talking about dating, but here we done dug down to the politics rabbit hole.
I'm sorry.
Okay, off of that. Because
it's fresh, man. November 5th was not even a week ago.
I mean, for real. Now, it's like, and then he's like, the last thing I'm gonna touch on, we'll get back to the subject.
Yeah.
And it's like how there's a term that's been tossed around, and it's one of the reasons why you said many black people don't like Trump, and the term is we're not saying Trump is racist, but all the racists are voting for Trump.
Oh yeah.
And then the day after the election, for people to get them fucking text messages talking about picking cotton, which is. And,
I heard about that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons because statistically most black families are conservative as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And it's
absolutely
just the messaging from the Republican Party a lot of times turns people off. I get it, but anyway. Now, I saw a video where this young lady was going off on this guy because he took her to the Cheesecake Factory. And she saw this. Oh no, I don't do the Cheesecake Factory.
I saw this.
And I thought he was absolutely well within his right to take that woman home.
Yeah.
And so like if you happen to take a woman somewhere and she hits you with that kind of attitude as you're pulling up, how do you handle that situation?
I mean, the way he handled it, he was fucking generous as shit. He was super generous. If it was me, I'd be like, bitch, kick rocks. You can walk. You can fucking walk. So, she was so fucking ridiculous. Cheesecake Factory is like middle class chic. What the hell are you talking about? I love Cheesecake Factory. That is a nice spot. For those that missed one part of the video, he had a reservation for a really nice like steakhouse or a really nice fucking place. And because he waited for her outside of her apartment for an hour, they missed the reservation. And it's literally, it was like either towards or in the middle of a weekend at a nice restaurant. If there's no reservation, you're not getting in. Like, you're not able to sit at the bar. So that's the place he was going to take her to. This guy was nice, strapped, like a nice looking guy, not like magazine nice, but a nice looking guy, well spoken, had a reservation prepared for this date. Like, no joke, was literally ready. Let's go to this really nice place. I want to take you out, show you the town. Let's go to this really beautiful spot. Waits an hour at her apartment because she's dicking around, probably trying to find another date, to be honest with you. I think she was trying to find someone else. I think she was absolutely trying to find someone else. No one is biting on her. So she's like, fuck it, I'll go out with this nice little guy. Well, they missed the reservation. So that's when she decides, he decides Cheesecake Factory. And then how are you going to bitch? How are you going to bitch about a free ride and probably a free meal at Cheesecake Factory? That is low. That is fucking low. You're bringing nothing to the table. You're already late as fuck. You missed your reservation. There's already 3 red flags. You're overly masculine. You're extremely rude. You're taking advantage of a nice guy. And then on top of that, you're bitching about the Cheesecake Factory? Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? You ain't Beyonce. You are nobody fucking special. You are on nobody's fucking radar. No one gives a shit about you. You have a nice guy who seems genuinely interested in you. He wants to take you to a nice place, and then you fucking drag him along for an hour. And then when you decide he's good enough for you, bitch about the Cheesecake Factory? Grow up. Grow the fuck up. It should have been her responsibility to say, I am so sorry. I was working. It went over. I apologize. I really want to go on this date. Let's go wherever you want to go. And then as soon as Cheesecake Factory hits, be like, hey, let's go sit at the bar while we get a table. I'll buy us a drink to apologize. And then we'll go sit down and have a nice meal. That would have been a responsible, nice, mature. I'd have wiped her up right there. Like, that would have been like, absolutely. You want to buy me a beer? Fuck yeah, absolutely. But she didn't take that opportunity. She wanted to bitch about it.
Exactly. And even with Beyonce said if he fucks her good, she'll take his ass to Red Lobster. So who the fuck are you?
And honestly, Red Lobster is nice too. Red Lobster is like Cheesecake Factory. That's like the same kind of place. It's a little bit expensive because it's like a nice fish place, but the place, from what I understand, he was taking her to was like you had to have a reservation. Like, you're not getting in the door without a reservation. I think if I remember correctly, I think he even told her you have to dress a certain way. Like, there may be some kind of dress. I may be wrong on that, but I've seen a bunch of these dudes. They always come up. But at these places, normally there's some kind of dress code. You have to have a reservation and you have to dress a certain way. But like these kind of restaurants, and I don't know if this is the one specifically, but those kind of restaurants, it's like a very specific clientele. Like, you'll pay for a full, like, 5-6 plate meal, and you'll spend $400 or $500.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that case with that dude, like that just goes to show you, like, not only that, but what I really liked about it, hated the video, but what I liked about it is, like, so many people came to that dude's defense. Like, wow, what a bitch, what a nasty person. Like, who do you think you are? Like, what are you bringing to the table? That was just so, on her end, that's why so many people, and I hate to say this, that's why so many people swipe left on black women. I hate to say that, but
like, you also see it in other races as well. But you saying, like, I think it's the times, because you said it's like,
yeah,
women are so liberated.
Yeah,
and they're so, you said they want a traditional man, but want to be a feminist at the same time.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's like, you're insecure. You're judging me. You say, yes, my titties are out on Instagram, but you said, if I'm with you, I'm with you. What?
Someone made a really good example of that. They were like, okay, let's say that you saved up a bunch of money. You worked super, super hard. It took you 1 or 2 years. You saved up all your money. You wanted to get the nicest car in the lot. You go to that car lot. You work the guy out a nice little deal, and you get the best car in the lot, something that your dream vehicle. You take that vehicle home. And you get home, and the next day, the car dealership knocks on the door and says, hey, if you don't mind, can we put a for lease or for sale sign on your truck or car, whatever you got? First response you would say is, fuck no. Get the fuck out. And no, I'm paying for this. This shit's mine. That's how men feel about their girlfriends posting shit on Instagram that's very revealing. That's how men think. Like when I don't know, you said you're married, right? Like if your fucking wife was like posting her bikini of just her online, you might feel some kind of way. Now I don't know specifically. I don't want to judge, but you might feel some kind of way, and you'd have every right to do so. Now it's not to say that you're what the hell do they say? It shows a lot of courage and it shows a lot of tenacity to say I'm not comfortable with this. It takes a lot of courage to say that. For you to say I'm not comfortable with you putting yourself on there like that. If you don't mind, why don't you delete that picture, put on a towel, and then retake it? Like, that takes a lot of courage. Like, you're my girlfriend. I want to protect you. There's a lot of creeps out there. I just don't appreciate that. If you're single and you want to be single and go and post whatever you want, go right the fuck ahead. But when you're with me, I do have boundaries, and that's boundaries. I don't want people seeing you half naked online. Jonah Hill got flack for doing that with his girlfriend. I don't know if you know Jonah Hill, the actor.
Yeah.
Heavyset guy. I was dating a beautiful girl, and he said, I have these specific boundaries. I don't want to know your friends because they suck and they're going to ask me for money or this or that. I'm a famous actor. I don't want to meet a lot of your friends until me and you are more solidified and I know who your friends are. Please don't post things of yourself half naked online. I have this and that and that and this kind of boundaries. Very specific. She went and blasted it online and was talking shit about Jonah Hill like she's in this prison. No, that's not a prison, because in the message it said, if you're not comfortable with this, I totally understand. I respect your boundaries. This isn't for me. That's a good thing. That's setting a boundary. If it was in reverse and the same relationship, but the girl said the same shit, don't post yourself naked online. I don't want to meet your friends. I'm at a certain status in life where I can't do this and that. You have to be comfortable with this. Every single fucking libtard online would champion this woman. Oh, congratulations. Good for you. You deserve so much better than that. Absolutely. You tell that dude, you tell that guy who the boss is. Like, no, that's not how this works. Guys are equally allowed to set the same boundaries as women do. But because men and women are very, very different, they're going to be different boundaries. And that's totally acceptable. Boundary for a girl is probably, I'd like you to come with me if I go to the store. I don't want to go by myself. Cool, great. I'm getting my tire changed. I don't know how that works. Help me out. I need this fixed. Can you fix this for me? Do you mind helping me? That's my job. Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm going to make sure you're not getting ripped off. I'm going to make sure I'm going to fix your toilet, wherever the fuck it is. My boundary is don't post yourself half naked online. If someone's talking to you and you're not comfortable with it, tell them, hey, if you don't mind, I'm not interested. Fuck off. Like, that's a boundary. That's totally okay. When there's a boundary from one side, it's great. Awesome. Yay. Be you, girl. Be yourself. But if I have a fucking boundary, I'm an asshole? What? Why is that fair? Like,
you see, I'll equate it like this. Because there's gonna be probably women in the comments that say, "Oh my God, you guys are so sexist." Blah 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 blah.
Can't wait.
That, and the fucking third.
I can't wait to read it, dude.
Let me go outside with just my drawers on, so that everybody can see my dick. You said you're gonna lose your shit. Soon as I touch the doorknob, you're gonna lose your shit. But I'm supposed to be okay with damn near seeing your pussy lips on Instagram.
Yeah, no way. You don't want me to embarrass you in our neighborhood with me going out in the drawer and in my drawers. Don't embarrass me online in your thong. Totally fair.
And that's not us trying to control you. That's we have certain standards.
Yeah.
Hey, if that's what you want to do, at the end of the day, do you. But at the end of the day, don't be upset if I say it's not for me. You know? Yeah,
it's basically like, do you want to compete with me or cooperate with me? Now, not cooperation like do as I say, it's let's find common ground. I'm not comfortable with you posting yourself in a bikini online. If you don't mind, I'm okay with you wearing a towel and having me in the picture. Yeah, all day, run it. Like, that's a compromise. You're still like the top is showing, but I'm in the picture and there's a towel that's covering like your bottom half. I'm totally okay with that. It's like when you said boundary, and I'm not comparing women to kids, but when adults have boundaries with their children, especially online, it's for a fucking reason. It's not because they're insecure. Oh, insecure, that's the word. Women say men are insecure. It's not because you're insecure. It's because you have a boundary. If I have a boundary and regardless of the consequences, I stress my boundaries, that's not being insecure. It's actually being very comfortable with yourself. So if I was insecure, I wouldn't tell you about my boundaries and I would say, go ahead, post yourself half naked. Yay. But if I wasn't insecure and I was very confident in my boundaries, I would tell you, I'm not comfortable with you posting that kind of thing online. If you don't mind, wear a towel and I'll be in the picture. And then let's talk about how you post yourself online. And it's not because I don't trust you. It's because I don't trust people online. And I don't want people to see my beautiful woman, the woman that I like and trust. I don't want people to see you half naked. You know, have some chastity, have some respect for yourself. You're not a stripper. So that's really where it comes from. Is I think men just want women to treat themselves better than how they are when other people are saying, oh no, go ahead, treat yourself however you want. Just like OnlyFans, just look at Playboy, just look at things online. It's like most women aren't like that. Most women have some kind of chastity. Most women have some kind of respect for themselves. And yet because of influences like major Hollywood movies, fucking OnlyFans, Instagram, anything on social media saying, be comfortable in your body online. Like, fuck off. That is so disingenuous to how people should be acting. Like, if you want to go in the dating realm and post yourself naked online all the time, go right ahead. No one's going to respect you. You're going to be in a guy's friend zone. You know the difference between a guy and a girl's friend zone? You know what that is. Before you got married, you know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
A guy's friend zone is, I'm going to have sex with you, but that's it. That's it. Yep. Like, you can come over, we can have fun, but then when I'm tired of your mouth, it's kick rocks. That's our friend zone. Girls' friend zone is I'm not having sex with you. You're just someone I can confide in. Yeah, if you want to be in our friend zone, go ahead and blast your shit online. I don't give a shit. I don't. And to be clear, and I'm sure you feel the same, I don't care how people in general broadcast themselves online. Nobody cares. But what we're not going to deny is the consequences of how you're treating yourself to the masses. If you want to go and post yourself online, cool, great, go ahead and do it. But no one's going to respect you if you're doing it in a negative light.
Now, how I flip that also, because you said we can always both sides it. Now, you putting yourself out there online like that, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get some weirdo shoving dick pics in your DMs.
Yeah.
Now, how would you like it? How would you like it if women started sending pussy pics in mine? You'd have a problem with that.
Yeah, that's fair. Would you be comfortable if some lady sent like me her tits? No. You wouldn't like that shit. I don't want you doing it to other people.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm going to use that. I'm stealing that from you.
Go ahead, do your thing.
That's a good fucking point.
You said, now, another one that I use is the disconnect in relationships now, because women are a lot more masculine now.
Yeah.
And the problem is, us as men, we want a partner, not an opponent.
Yeah.
We're battling the world all day long. The last thing we want to come home and do is fight with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
absolutely.
It's like you're saying we're tugging and pulling for masculinity in the fucking house. It's like, no. You saying?
This is my kingdom, bro. This is my kingdom. Don't give me shit in my house. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think when it comes to like domesticated relationships, when you're already in a relationship, I know a lot of guys, and again, I'm mostly in the outside looking in, but most domesticated relationships, there's plenty of men out there in sexless relationships. Like, how disingenuous is that for a guy to be in a sexless marriage, having 1 or 2 kids, bust his ass every day, cleaning toilets or in a fucking steel mill, and then comes home and no food, bitch dad, didn't take the laundry out, didn't do the trash. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, do you have any idea what the fuck I did today? And I got to come home and deal with you? Like, sometimes I think after a while, maybe they started conservatively as women, but then throughout the relationship, 1 or 2 kids later, then all of a sudden they see everything online. Like, oh, I can be more independent. Oh, I can say this. Oh, I should stand up for myself. I should tell him how to do this. I should tell him how to do that. Well, that's not fair. He didn't clean the kitchen. I cook all the time. Right. What bills do you pay? Do you work full time? Who's making most of the money? Where are our children? What am I doing when I'm not here? I'm not going and hanging out with my fucking friends getting drunk. I'm fucking working. Like, if I come home, if I bring home, let's say, 50 grand a year, plenty of money to support a family with. 50 grand a year is a good amount of money. And then I come home and my fucking girlfriend, wife, whatever, is working part-time. And she wants to bitch at me because I didn't clean the kitchen. Well, then I'll stay home and you go fucking work. Go ahead. Make your job full-time. Work every single fucking day and see how you feel.
It's funny because you said the only problem realistically that the wife and I have is because I'm an over-the-road truck driver. So I'm doing thousands of miles a week. When I get to park my truck and she comes to get me, she gets in the passenger seat. That irks my foot. I've been driving all fucking week. Why do you think I'm gonna drive some more?
Gotcha. Yeah, that would be stressful. You probably drive 1,000 miles in 2-3 days, like.
Yeah, actually, I literally right now I'm in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I had just gotten back yesterday from Ennis, Texas. So I'm moving.
Gotcha. No shit. Yeah, that would be a lot. Like, yeah, I just got home, fucking left foot, driving everywhere. My eyes are bushed. Like, it's black dog like a real thing with truck drivers? I don't know if you've ever heard like the black dog. Is it okay? What is the black dog?
Okay, basically what a black dog is sometimes, especially at night, your eyes will start playing tricks on you when it's time to pull over. So if your eyes will start playing tricks on you, and you'll imagine seeing a black dog in the road. And you said a lot of times the drivers will try to swerve away from that dog that's not there, end up rolling over or hitting somebody or stuff like that. So to all my truck drivers out there, if you feel it, if you're feeling tired, pull it over.
Take a break. Especially now with the new trucks. I know like a lot of the new trucks, you can't drive more than 14 hours a day, like the electric
11.
ones. 11. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Like 11
I
hours,
get
but
it.
you can work 14. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Which makes sense. I mean,
you
don't want to wear yourself out and behind the wheel of a 10,000 pound machine. Like, I know some people can move trucks. Like, they're like, dude, I don't care. Like, I have the older engines. I can pop this bitch or whatever. I can drive all day. I can write my time down. I will move shit. Like, it's a tough job. It's not a sit down job. It's not just a sit down job. You sit, yes, but it's not a sit down job. It's not an office job. I'm fucking fortunate enough that I'm in an office job. Like, I do trade work, but I don't do the actual trade part. I actually hire people. I'll go in, I'll look at a house, and I'll say A, B, and C do that. And then I go fucking hire people to actually do the work. Like,
it was funny because a lot of people ask me all the time. They was like, well, "Why did you become a truck driver?" I said, "Because I don't like people, and I'm in this truck by myself."
And I have a podcast where you talk to people every day.
I mean, well, that's different. You said if I had to be in a warehouse or in an office seeing the same motherfuckers all the time, it's always somebody fucking complaining and shit like that. Yeah. To be one with the steering wheel on the road, I feel free. You know what I mean? I've been literally doing this 20 years, so
No shit.
Yeah.
What are you, like 30? Like, would you start when you were 10?
No, I'm 41 actually.
Holy shit! I just turned 37 last month.
Okay, well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I'm one step closer to hitting bottom. I do my best when I'm drunk.
Okay, now besides all the toxic shit we see online, you said like in person, what are some of your personal red flags? Not only when it comes to dating, you said, but actual friendships as well.
So, how they treat other people. Biggest thing. How they treat other people and how they talk about other people. If someone walks away and they're immediately talking shit about someone, that's a huge red flag. Like, why waste that much time? So this happened to me recently. A friend of mine we were on a double date. So like sometimes I still go out and date just for the experience kind of aspect of it. Plus there's some things I do that not my partner doesn't have to know about. So double date, me and a friend are out. We meet one of our other mutual friends. It's a girl. She's an older girl. She's a year or so older than me. Single, no kids, still works at the bar, still a bar rack, that kind of thing. But cool girl. As soon as my friend left the room, left the area, we were at the bar getting drinks. He went outside to smoke with his date. As soon as he left, she started talking shit about my friend. And like, they are actually friends. This older girl and my friend are actually friends. As soon as he left, she was like, oh, why is he dating her? Like, oh my gosh, like, she is way out of his league. She's so pretty. Like, oh my gosh, like, who is that? That's a big red flag. How you talk about people to other people is a huge red flag. And I know most women kind of do that anyway, where they have that little sewing clutch, but how they treat like other people when they're not around, and how they treat like service industry people. Like, even if they work in the service industry, it's like, I would serve that so much better. Like, oh, I can make such a better drink. Like, oh, she took forever. Like, oh, it's okay, baby. Just take your time. Like, it's all right. And then as soon as they leave, they're talking shit about the server. Big red flag. Big red flag. If you really feel that about people and you're like, you don't know someone that well, don't fucking do that. You don't know, like, that they have kids or friends or family that they really care about that work in the service industry. And then you're sitting there talking shit about someone because it took them an extra 5 seconds to get you a beer. So that's a big red flag for me.
That's a huge red flag for me as well. Because I saw the movie Waiting, and you don't fuck with people that fuck with your food.
Right. Absolutely.
Now, I've seen this a lot on social media too, because you said they expect men to be so established and to have so much money because they want to live the life on Instagram or whatever, whatnot. You just that the third. They'll have a regular guy that treats them well, and does everything they can to try to keep them happy. But then going back to your point earlier about seeing what's online, now all of a sudden I make $100,000 a year, but you want a Birkin bag. Like, are you fucking nuts? Like,
we just made it, lady. Let me get a couple paychecks. That's a big thing, and I hate to say this. I'm not a sexist person, but I also look at the reality of things. Women are 80% of the debt. 80% of credit card debt is owned by women, and we're about 50-50. We're only outnumbered by women by like less than 1%. So 80% of half of the population is just with women. Just with women. So they're not financially, not all of them. Obviously, there's plenty of women that are very financially stable, but most women generally are not good with credit cards, not good with finances, not good at planning ahead. They spend. And it's very much wear and tear on a relationship when you're trying to say, hey, we're trying to save money. We're trying to buy a better house. We're trying to get in better situations, get better vehicles. And as soon as you get $5, you spend 10. You don't need a Birkin bag right now. You don't need to live the life right now. There's plenty of be like fucking who is it? Bill Gates shops at Walmart.
Right.
His outfit, Bill Gates' outfit, like, is $12.
See, that's another thing that's funny, because like I saw a video with I guess you said right around there, like mid-30s white couple. You saying it was I think he worked for an oil company in Texas.
Okay.
And he was bringing in about $16,000 a month.
Wow.
Their monthly expenditures came out to about $21,000.
What?
Yeah. She was taking credit cards out in his name, and like,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Tank their shit. Like, they couldn't get a fucking Toyota. They couldn't get a Toyota Prius that's 10 years old.
And
that sucks.
Was funny is because he was see, that's the problem with you said men. You said we've become simps for these women.
Yeah.
And you said we need a simp intervention in 2024 going into 2020.
I love that. That's very true. At the same time, that the competition aspect is so much different. Women, it's easy mode. Your wife right now, not that she would. I'm sure she's very much a quality woman. Just from me talking to you, I'm sure you got a very much so a quality woman. But
Absolutely.
if she wanted to, she could leave wherever she is right now, go to anywhere within fucking 10 miles of her house and find someone and sleep with them if she wanted to. But you don't have that luxury. Even though, like, you're a nice looking guy, if you wanted to leave right now and go find someone, you either got to pay for it or you really got to fucking work for it. That's how it is for guys. The competition for dating is literally night and day. It's a completely different ballpark. For us, we have to be on fucking X Games mode. Look good, be sharp, good personality, know how to buy drinks, have that swagger, be able to communicate well and be funny and be goofy, but also be serious and sweet. You know, be the guy that's the renegade guy that women like, but also be a guy that you want to introduce to your mom. Like, we have to be fucking everything all at once within 5 minutes of meeting you. Women just have to show up and have something in their hand to drink. It's completely different. It's completely unfair.
You said, I'm gonna quote the comedian Eddie Griffin. He said, he was like, how is that women call themselves the prize? Well, how do women say they're the prize because they have a pussy? Fucking don't start till a dick get hard. Once a dick goes soft, fucking's over.
That's perfect. That is fucking perfect.
You said, and now we've got a. You said, we said yes, you're the creator of life, but we said we the creator of the living situation. You said yes, you brought life into this world, but now I got to house and protect this. So how is the woman the prize? You said, and that's not me being sexist. That's me asking a legitimate question on the other side of the coin because I try to be fair over here. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like, if push come to shove and there's some guy that just wasn't leaving you alone, whether you spent acid in his face or not, you expect me to step up and say, hey, bro, fuck off. But if you want me to believe in equality, if you want me to think that you can do what other people can do, if you want me to sit there and take a back seat because you're the woman, then fucking do it yourself. Tell that guy leave you alone. Tell that guy, I'm not fucking interested. I don't want anything to do with you. I'm fucking busy. I'm on a date. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Go right the fuck ahead. Don't count on me if you really want this untraditional style relationship. If not, it's okay to say I want a traditional value with my man. I want a traditional value with how I date, but I wouldn't mind certain liberties. And if that was said, that would solve so many fucking problems. It's unrealistic. If any woman dating today said, I want a traditional man, but I want certain liberties within the relationship, that would solve everything. You would have a better pool of quality men. You would have more men interested in staying with you longer because they would automatically know this is what I want. Me and you, we think face value. We're guys. We're at face value. If you say you're okay, love you, babe. I'm going to go play games. And then if they have a problem, they'll tell us, oh, I got a problem. Okay, now, do you want me to help you solve the problem? Or do you just want me to listen and hug you? Right. Oh, well, I just want to bitch about it. Like, this lady, like, she just cut me in line and everything's going la, 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 la. As soon as you come up with a solution to a problem for most women, they're like, I don't care. It's like they just want someone to listen to. They just want you to listen sometimes. And so that's really the difference between men and women is men were very pragmatic. We want to solve problems. We want to get our hands dirty. We want to figure it out. We're tinkers. We want to understand exactly what's going on, get the information, and then try and solve an issue. With now, not all, but most women, because they think very differently. It's like, I just want to bitch about it. I just want someone to fucking listen to me for 10 minutes. Let me take you down this rabbit hole of bullshit that I dealt with at work today, and then give me a fucking hug and give me ice cream, and we're good. Like,
right. No,
I think if more women, I'm sorry, I'll be real quick. I think if more women were more honest in the beginning and just said, this is what I want, I think that would be a huge benefit for men.
Now, you said one thing you said with women, you said as I guess a piece of advice as from a man that I could give to a woman, just like my man said, we want to solve the problems. You said, like, tell us what the problem is and get the fuck out of the way. I don't need to know how you got to the problem. You said, do all that shit with your homegirls and shit. That's why you have friends. You said, like, it's another saying that I use all the time is when you're watching porn, most people don't care about the storyline that gets them to the fucking. It's just like, get to the damn fucking part.
They want to see the during and after, not the before.
Yes, and then after,
That's true.
And then after we bust one up, it's like, get this disgusting shit off my phone. You see?
When I used to watch porn, because I haven't watched porn in almost 5 years, I've completely gotten rid of porn. I think strip clubs, pornography, a lot of that stuff. Like sometimes I use visual aids, but I try to be more sexually active rather than using visual aids. But when I used to watch porn, I was the same way. I would skip like blah, 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 blah. I would skip right to the part where, you know, it's getting going.
Yeah, right.
I don't care that, you know, your husband's out of town and your fucking toilet's broke. Like, take your pants off. Let's do this.
Right. Now, you said, okay. You said now women, they also have to be cognizant. And you said this is, we're going to make this a teachable moment.
Okay.
If you want to be liberated and you said, and have your titties out, but want a strong masculine man, that you could end up with that strong masculine man in the penitentiary because you want to feel liberated and show everybody your titties.
That's true. Because you're going to be the breadwinner. That woman's going to be the breadwinner. If you want to pull a guy out of prison, fresh out of prison, nice strong guy, tattoos all over his face, fucks like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, you'll find that real easy in prison. Right. Absolutely. But you're going to be the breadwinner because that guy's not going to find a job. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. So yeah, I totally agree. Again, yeah, if that's what you want. So if women want to be sexually liberated online and find a quality guy, you're not going to find one that isn't overweight and in a wheelchair and dying.
What we said, but then you said that you sent the prison guy. He's saying he might find a job. Hell, Donald Trump had 34 felonies, and he's about to be the fucking president. So yeah, anything's possible. You know,
that's true. That's very, very true. I don't think he would be the first president to have criminal. Well, actually, maybe he is. I don't know. Honestly.
I think Richard Nixon resigned before he said everything, and then he ended up getting pardoned. But you said that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, there was Nixon with the Watergate scandal. That's true. That's true. Now that was, I think that Watergate scandal was more fucking intense and had probably more dirt that would have affected the country negatively than paying off a fucking hooker.
And that's crazy with all within itself. You know,
I don't care that he did any of that. I believed everybody when it came to Trump. Someone told me Trump was racist. I was like, yep, you must be right. Absolutely, must be. Yeah, I believe you. Yeah, totally cool. Then when you look into it, you find out he's not fucking racist. You find out very quickly. Like when you actually do a deep dive into it, he helped fund Whoopi Goldberg's movie and worked for her for free. Shaq, he helped Shaq become a fucking billionaire. One of his best friends is an Asian guy. And I mean, obviously, if you have friends that are of a different race, everyone says, oh, having a black friend means you're not racist. It doesn't mean you're not racist. Like, yeah, it kind of does. Like when you have friends in any aspect of life, regardless of their racial background, sexual orientation, whatever it might be, that probably means that you're not a bigot in some fashion. Are there people that people don't like that are black, white, gay, whatever? Sure. It doesn't mean because they're black, white, or gay. It just means you don't like that fucking person. And I think with Trump, that's the same thing. I think people very much have Trump misunderstood. And for all of Hollywood to get on this fucking train of hating Trump and all of Hollywood to be backing Kamala and Trump still winning sets a huge precedent and tells me that obviously he's not the racist that everyone said he was. There's no way, because I very rarely will see a racist person. Racism is still alive and well, believe me, it is there, but it's on life support. The people that are keeping racism alive are the fucking Democrats and people that are trying to pump racism into the community, say, oh, well, it's because you're black, it's because you're gay, it's because of this. And they're trying to pump votes into this system by saying that you're disenfranchised because of the color of your skin, when it might not be the case. Lil Wayne is a great example of that. Lil Wayne was a millionaire before he graduated high school. He had a platinum fucking record. Guess who saved his life? A white cop. Look up, I think David Hubler or something. Hubler. He was the police officer that saved Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne accidentally shot himself in the chest. For those that don't know the story, Lil Wayne, young kid, 12, 13, whatever, accidentally shot himself in the chest. Cops were there, and every cop walked over this kid like just some regular criminal piece of shit. And some white trash guy, some regular redneck, was there. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? This poor kid is sitting here bleeding out. What the hell are you guys doing? Picks him up, resuscitates him, gets the ambulances there, and saves Lil Wayne's life. And because of that, Lil Wayne became one of the coolest, biggest fucking rappers in history. This was in the 90s, because obviously Lil Wayne didn't become big until, well, no, I'm sorry, maybe the 80s, something like that. It doesn't really matter. And then Lil Wayne later is like, what is this Black Lives Matter thing? What is this? I don't get it. Like, it has nothing to do with me. Explain it to me. I'm 17 years old and I'm a millionaire. Tell me where racism is. Like, help me find it. Like, seriously, tell me. Like, Morgan Freeman, same thing. So it's like when you do a deep dive into this stuff, yes, of course, there's bigotry, there's hatred, there's idiots out there all over the place. But I think they're on life support. Like, no one's supporting them. No one gives a fuck about them.
Definitely. Now, before we get up out of here, I'm just gonna you said flip it on what this is. To me, what I think is because you have your Charlie Kirks saying racist shit. You said you have your Tucker Carlson talking about, you said the white replacement theory, and then you said that you see Charlottesville and shit like that. Just the visuals. You said, and there's like a lot of times people will, you said, look more towards the liberal side because you, like I said, the Republicans kind of the way they talk. It's like, to me, if you have to do mental gymnastics to explain to me what the fuck Trump is talking about, just shut up.
Yeah, I'm over it. Yeah,
mental gymnastics.
If you have to explain to me what someone said about how they said it and then define what they said, I'm over it. Like, don't give me a Venn diagram for how someone talks. I'm fucking over it. Like, they already fucking lost me. Like, I will say, though, I said,
that was the problem. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I will say, though, if I remember, the Republican Party started off as an anti-slavery party. For those that don't know that, the Republican Party started because the Democrats were the ones that were like, we want slavery. We want this. We want that. We want to do this. We want to do that. The Democrats were the ones that kept pushing for Jim Crow, along with Joe Biden. A lot of people don't know that. Joe Biden was a proponent to bring back or to continue, because he was alive around that time, Jim Crow laws and segregation acts. So the Republican Party started literally just before Abraham Lincoln came into office to end slavery. It was to end slavery. The Republican Party was never a racist thing. Never, even today. They were always there to end slavery, to push certain agendas. Martin Luther King, Condoleezza Rice were both Republicans. I don't care what anyone says, and especially people that are on the left or whoever in the middle that say, "Oh no, Martin Luther King was like middle ground, middle Democrat." No. At the same time that Martin Luther King was a Republican, was the same time that the Democrats had a huge following from the KKK. The KKK so dominated the Democratic Party while Martin Luther King was running for public office. So why the fuck would Martin Luther King be a Democrat when most of his opponents and in the Democratic side were probably wearing white fucking hoods? So no, there was never this swap where Republicans were like, let's end slavery and racism, and then let's bring it back. Like, there was never this flop. Did they make mistakes? Did they do dumb shit? Fuck yeah. Are there assholes and actual racists that are Republicans? Of course. Are there racist people that like Donald Trump? Yes. He's a white guy. Absolutely. Are there extremists that like all kinds of people? Absolutely. It doesn't mean that the extremists are able to speak for the people in power, because they're not. They don't. If that was the case, then Marilyn Manson should be in prison for all the murders and suicides. Eminem should be in prison for all the shit that other people did that liked his music. Every single rapper that said you should smack a bitch or kill a gay person or whatever should be in prison because of the things they did. And that's not what happens. We're allowed to protect people's opinions from other people that they don't like or support from liking them. And I think that's what's happening with Trump now. I don't like Trump either. I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trump supporter. I didn't vote for Donald Trump by any stretch of the imagination. But I also don't think that Trump is the person everyone says that he is. Sorry to go off dating again.
Absolutely. It's all good. Now, if you guys like this video, actually, before we get out of here, tell them how they can get in contact with you.
Also, Instagram at shaner.artisdead. Also, I'm on Twitch at Get Twisted or Shane or Nicholas Twisted on Twitch. That's pretty much it.
Okay, well, make sure you send me all that so I can put it in the description box. You send when
I will appreciate it.
You said, now, if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a fat thumbs up. Make sure you hit subscribe, turn on that bell notification so you don't miss another video. And without further ado, I love you. Mr. Shane loves you. We out of here, man. Peace.
Such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Y'all take care.